For over 30 years, Rocky Mountaineer has taken guests from around the world on remarkable journeys. Rocky Mountaineer was founded back in 1990 as an all-daylight rail journey connecting Vancouver to the Canadian Rockies. Each year, our executive chefs reimagine a menu highlighting local ingredients, such as Pacific salmon and prime Alberta beef. When guests step on board our custom-designed coaches, they are whisked away as the picturesque windows showcase sky-high peaks, roaming wildlife, and shifting landscapes of unparalleled beauty. Every need is catered to by our attentive onboard hosts. Complimentary snacks and beverages are served throughout, as our hosts engage with history and stories of the passing regions. There are 4 rail routes to choose from with Rocky Mountaineer, 3 in Canada and 1 in the United States. The green dotted lines on our maps are highways. The white diamonds are the locations that you would overnight in a hotel while traveling by train during the day. We utilize our routes as the base experience, and guests have an opportunity to build a more robust itinerary that will also incorporate travel by motor coach. This is what one of those itineraries might look like. Our trains go east to west or west to east. So in this situation, you could start in Vancouver with our train route up to Jasper and the overnight stay in Kamloops. And then from Jasper down to Calgary, you would be on a motor coach, exploring the beautiful Icefields Parkway. Perhaps you don't want to do the off-rail experience through Rocky Mountaineer and want to be a little bit more independent. You can just purchase our rail-only routes. For the guest who wants the best of the best, the most immersive experience in the Canadian Rockies, this is the only way to go, our Circle Journeys. On a Circle Journey, we incorporate 2 rail routes. In this situation, we're incorporating our Southern Rail route, First Passage West, which connects Vancouver to Banff, and our Northern Rail route, Rainforest to Gold Rush, which connects Jasper to Vancouver on a 3-day rail route. Again, the green dotted line is a highway, so between Banff and Jasper, you'd be off of the train and doing that area by motor coach. All guests traveling on one of our Canadian routes will start or end their journey in Vancouver. And you noticed on that last slide, we had 2 nights at the beginning and 2 nights at the end. There is plenty to do when spending multiple nights in Vancouver. It gives you a great chance to see Stanley Park, Granville Island, and the famed Capilano Suspension Bridge. For those with a fear of heights, please remember, when you finally cross the Capilano Suspension Bridge, you do have to walk across it again to get back to the other side. Jasper is one of our locations that we start or end our rail journey. This is a quaint rustic town set within the majestic mountains of Jasper National Park, the largest national park in Canada. Pictured here is the Jasper Sky Tram. We suggest that guests choose to book this locally as the attraction can be impacted by weather. Lake Louise is another one of our start or end points of the rail journey. This world-renowned, postcard-perfect turquoise lake and stunning glacier scenery, Lake Louise is set against a breathtaking backdrop of snow-capped peaks and rich evergreen forests. Banff is the last of the 4 locations that you start or end your journey. So again, Vancouver, Jasper, Lake Louise, and Banff. And Banff is one of the most beautiful places on earth. It's home to the Wild Untamed National Park. Pictured here is the town of Banff from the top of Sulphur Mountain. The downtown area of Banff is filled with wonderful restaurants and unique shopping. Calgary is known as one of our gateway cities. What does that mean? Well, Vancouver and Calgary are where the international airports are. So you can fly into Calgary, fly out of Vancouver, or again, if you did a circle journey, you might just only use Vancouver and you would never see Calgary. An overnight stop on many of our Rocky Mountaineer routes, Kamloops is a riverside city with fantastic restaurants, local pubs, and serene parks to walk through. Originally a mining town, Quesnel has kept its old-time charm as it has grown into an enchanting city in the north. This is an overnight stop on the Rainforest to Gold Rush route and offers some peace and quiet along the journey. The world-class destination of Whistler is the other midpoint stop on our Rainforest to Gold Rush route. This ski resort town mixes culture and adventure. Those are the different cities that you would see while traveling with Rocky Mountaineer. Now let's get a closer look at the service levels. We have two service levels to choose from, Gold Leaf and Silver Leaf. Silver Leaf is our custom-designed single-level coach. The concept of Silver Leaf is big, open, and airy. As soon as guests board the glass dome coach, their job is simple. Sit back in their large reclining seat, gaze out the oversized window, and prepare to soak up some truly incredible scenery with hosts attending to your every need. With a selection of regionally inspired menu options served seatside, all plated to your preference, guests receive the royal treatment while gliding along the rails. An amply sized tray folds down for your dining experience. Our outdoor viewing platform on board our Silverleaf service allows guests to get closer to nature and step into the great outdoors. Gold Leaf is the other class of service. Gold Leaf is a custom-designed bi-level coach. That means you have an upstairs and a downstairs. Gold Leaf service gives you a full dome windows that give unparalleled 360-degree views from the upper level of our custom-designed bi-level coach. Your assigned seat for the 2 or 3 day rail journey will be in the upstairs dome in Gold Leaf. Mobility should not be a concern when traveling in our Gold Leaf class of service. There is a single-person elevator or stairwell used to get up and down between the levels. On the first level is white linen a la carte dining. The culinary magic in Gold Leaf service is complemented by a team of onboard chefs, outstanding hosts, and fresh, locally inspired ingredients. The spacious outdoor viewing platform on board the Gold Leaf service allows about 10 guests at a time to step into the great outdoors. So a lot of people still ask, what do you do while on the train? The train days are about 10 hours long and you're going through beautiful scenery just like this. We have wonderful meals served on board. There are no out-of-pocket expenses. So any of your drinks, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, as well as all of your food, is all included. The hosts on board are doing great narration of the areas that you're seeing. You have a mile marker map that is also being followed as we do our narration. We're traveling from the rainforest region of Vancouver through a semi-arid desert in the middle of British Columbia. We then move on to the high alpine of the Canadian Rockies. There are times that we're crossing over trestles with rushing rivers right below. The next question I get the most is, when should I travel? We operate April through October. Spring, being April and May, still has a winter element. The ice in Lake Louise doesn't come out until about June 1st, and that's what we say summer starts. Summer goes all the way through August, and then the great fall foliage comes out. You start to get a little snow on the mountaintops again as you move into September and October. The interaction with wildlife is also slightly dependent on the season in which you travel. The grizzly bears will come out of their hibernation in April and May as the spring awakening is happening. What a great time to see them. But in the fall, you get the rut of the moose and elk. Almost any time of year is a great time of year to be in the Canadian Rockies for wildlife viewing. We've partnered with the best tour operators to offer a wide array of unforgettable activities. from scenic gondola rides to glacial hikes. When you're off of the train, we will be doing motor coach transportation. We partner with a company called Brewster, which is owned by Pursuit. Along the route, we're traveling through Jasper, Banff, and Yoho National Park. There's no big billboards and very quaint towns. When we transfer you from one city to another off of the train, we don't just do a quick transfer, we incorporate sightseeing. So when traveling from Banff or Lake Louise up to Jasper, you get a great opportunity to go up on a snow coach on the Athabasca Glacier. A walk on the Glacier Skywalk is another inclusion when we do that transfer sightseeing. Moraine Lake is another one of the key Vista stops. This is a beautiful glacial-fed lake, and you can tell that by the color of the water. The glacial silt or rock flour has not quite settled and reflects this beautiful blue hue. The Banff Gondola is another inclusion on one of our transfer sightseeings. This goes up to the top of Sulphur Mountain for a wonderful view of the town of Banff. We don't include all of the great sightseeing that's needed in this area. We allow you to customize your adventure, and on leisure days, we suggest local operators that you can book your trips with. These are just a few examples of our hotel partners. Guests will explore brand new surroundings and end the night with a restful sleep in a comfy hotel bed. Pictured here is the Fairmont Banff Springs. This is definitely one of the iconic hotels within the Canadian Rockies. One that even if you're not staying there, you should probably go take a look at. After learning about all the Canadian Rockies have to offer and the beauty of our rail routes, perhaps this is the itinerary you choose. This is an 11-night, 12-day trip connecting Calgary to Vancouver. And again, you could start in Calgary, end in Vancouver, or start in Vancouver and end in Calgary. In 2024, depending on hotels, service level, and time of year that you travel, this trip ranges between $5,900 per person and $7,700 per person. You have a wonderful experience with 7 nights up and down the Canadian Rockies, our 3-day rail journey, and 2 nights in Vancouver. This is definitely one of the more popular trips Rocky Mountaineer has to offer. After 30 years of experience in the Canadian Rockies and British Columbia, we expanded our routes to the United States in 2021 and launched the newest route, Rockies to the Red Rocks. Rockies to the Red Rocks connects Denver, Colorado to Moab, Utah with an overnight stay in Glenwood Springs. And again, our train does travel east to west or west to east. So you may start in Moab and end in Denver, or start in Denver and end in Moab. Either way, you have opportunities to do an extension by motor coach up to Salt Lake City or Las Vegas. Just as a reminder, you can do our train as a rail-only experience. So if you don't need hotels in Denver, don't need hotels in Moab, and you just want to experience the train between the two, that is okay. Please feel free to book us as a rail-only experience. On this route, we are exclusively using the Silverleaf class of service. You have wonderful experience on the Silverleaf class of service. Again, that big, airy open. But we also have an opportunity for an upgrade that is exclusive to this route. If you choose, you can upgrade to Silverleaf Plus. Silverleaf Plus gives you all the same included amenities of the Silverleaf class of service, plus a little extra. And that little extra are some lounge cars. The 2 lounge cars that we have on Silverleaf Plus offer oversized seating, an additional bartender, some extra snacks, and even an additional bathroom. There are 2 lounge cars, as said earlier. This is more of our quiet conversation car. The other one has a player piano, which kind of gives some great ambiance as well. Whichever one you choose, you have access to both when you upgrade to Silverleaf Plus. This trip starts or ends in Denver, Colorado, known as Mile High City. Denver is also known as the Napa Valley of the craft beer movement. So if you'd like to get a pint or a flight, Denver is definitely a great place to do that before starting your journey on Rocky Mountaineer. There's no shortage of jaw-dropping scenery on our route between Denver and Moab. The tunnels in Colorado are one of the reasons that we are not using our Gold Leaf class of service. It simply does not fit in these tunnels. However, the tunnels are amazing. We go through the Moffett Tunnel. This is at the Continental Divide. We're at an elevation of 9,300 feet. The tunnel itself is 6 miles long. You have about a half a mile of earth above you at the top of the Continental Divide. When you get to the other side, you come out at Winter Park, Colorado, very close to the start of the Colorado River. We will follow the Colorado River about 65% of this entire journey. Our midpoint stay is the town of Glenwood Springs. This was put on the map many years back for its geothermal energy. These are the 3 hotels that we use as our midpoint location in Glenwood Springs. For logistic purposes, we assign the hotel in this region, and actually on all of our midpoint stays, including Whistler, Quesnel, and Kamloops, all of those hotels are assigned by Rocky Mountaineer. When we leave the high alpine of the Colorado Rockies behind, we then enter the Colorado Plateau and Grand Mesa. Pictured here is Mount Garfield, which is at an elevation of over 6,700 feet. The town of Palisades may surprise you. They have many orchards and vineyards in this dry environment. They actually divert the Colorado River for agricultural purposes. As we get into western Colorado and eastern Utah, you start to see where we got the name of this route, Red Rocks to the Rockies. We are definitely in the Red Rock Nation at this point. We finally arrive into Moab. This is an oasis in the desert. It's home to spectacular arches and Canyonlands National Park. We have some great hotel partners for you to choose from, and your adventure awaits. We leave your time in Moab a blank slate. You're able to choose what type of activities you want to do. I'm going to strongly suggest going up and doing Arches National Park, Canyonlands National Park, maybe even a nice river cruise down the Colorado River. Here's our full map again. I just spoke about Arches and Canyonlands. Those are very accessible from the town of Moab. There are 3 other national parks, Capitol Reef, Bryce, and Zion, which also may be a highlight. I'm going to share 2 of our more popular trips with Rockies to the Red Rocks. This is a pretty basic package as well. 5 nights, 2 days on the rail, 2 nights in Denver, 2 nights in Moab, all at leisure in Denver and Moab. Great opportunity as an introductory to Rocky Mountaineer. If Bryce and its majestic hoodoos, as well as Zion and its beautiful painted walls are a highlight for you, perhaps you would want to do something a little different. And that is Rockies to the Red Rocks at leisure with Las Vegas. We don't schedule your hotel in Las Vegas. There's plenty of those to do. But what we do is start or end the trip in Vegas with a 10-passenger Sprinter van. So between Las Vegas and Moab, you're with a driver guide in a 10-passenger van, overnighting in Bryce National Park while visiting Zion, Bryce, and Capitol Reef, culminating with a great adventure in the town of Moab before taking your journey on Rockies to the Red Rocks out to Denver. And again, this trip can be done east to west or west to east. We have some promotions that are always a constant. One of them is that U.S. military members get $100 off per person on our U.S. route, Rockies to Red Rocks. As a AAA member, you also get additional benefits. We have $150 off packages 4 days or longer per couple on our Canadian routes, and $100 off packages 4 days or longer on our Rockies to Red Rocks route. We get lots of accolades and awards. Very happy to work with a company that gets such prestigious recognition. Thank you very much, and please make sure you reach out to your AAA travel advisor today.